The 11th Central Region Video Mechanics Exam will explore wedge positioning on the bases and multi-member crews. First, let's review some of the fundamentals of wedge positioning. Remember the purpose of wedge positioning: to get better views on tag plays, ensuring that umpires do not get straight lined on any tag attempt. Also remember the three basic fundamentals of executing wedge positioning. They are: first, our initial starting position, which should be 5 to 7 feet from the fielder receiving the throw to make sure that we are getting the runner sliding at us. Secondly, we should move with the fielder, meaning that if the fielder moves right, left, backwards, or forwards, our umpires are going to do the same while maintaining that 5 to 7 distance from the fielder. Lastly, we should have quiet steps, and these quiet steps will maintain that 5 to 7 feet distance between the umpire and the fielder, but they will also keep our head and eyes between the fielder and the runner so that we don't get straight lined. On the bases, these same three fundamentals still apply. While maintaining the 5 to 7 feet distance from the fielder receiving the throw, the umpire's initial starting position will also be behind the fielder as the picture illustrates. Doing so keeps the umpire out of the lateral movement of this fielder attempting to receive a throw, and umpires must also avoid crossing the tracks of the runner into the base. The umpire in this picture does a perfect job of using these keys in attaining his position. From there, the remaining two fundamentals still apply. We still adjust with the fielder, meaning that if the fielder moves, so do we. And then lastly, we still use our quiet steps to make sure we keep our head and eyes in between the fielder and the runner. In our first example, we have a routine hit to left field. Here, our first base umpire comes down the line appropriately, gets behind the fielder, but not to get in the way of his lateral movement, to position effectively just in case we have a throw back on the batter runner at first base. The next clip shows the same fundamentals at third base. With this routine hit, our third base umpire moves down the line but not to go below the bag. Here, he would be in great position if we had any throw back into third base. Note that pivoting on this play would be unnecessary, and if the third base umpire was to pivot into the working area, he would potentially be in the way of any throw to home plate. Now the relay cuts this throw and sends it to second base, so let's focus on the work of our second base umpire. As the replay will show the play again, our second base umpire could have done a little better job. U2's initial starting position was further from the fielder than we would have ideally liked, but he does position behind the fielder so as not to get in the fielder's lateral track or the batter runner's track into second base. And as the play develops, the umpire's adjustment and quiet steps should have taken him towards the back side of the base so that his head and eyes remain between the runner and the fielder, allowing him to see the tag without being straight lined. In the next example, U2 goes out on this fly ball, putting us in normal rotation. As U3 comes in to cover second base, he should work behind the fielder receiving the throw, but not to get in the way of his lateral movement or the runner's track into second base. In this example, this means U3's starting point should be in the baseline between second and third, and then adjust with the fielder to keep our head and eyes between the fielder and the runner to view any potential tag attempt. On this gapper, U2 immediately rims on the outside of the diamond to avoid R1 as he rounds second base, and then gets into position for a play on the batter runner at second base. However, as this play develops, U2 should take a closer starting position of 5 to 7 feet behind the fielder, but not to be in the fielder's lateral track or the batter runner's track into second base. Again, this example would dictate U2's starting position to be in the baseline between second and third, adjusting then with the fielder and keeping head and eyes between the fielder and the runner to view the tag attempt. On this slow roller to the left side, note that U3's pre-pitch starting position is probably a little deeper than desired to get in position for this quick developing play. In reviewing the replay, U3's positioning results in a straight line look at this tag attempt at third base. Keep in mind the fundamentals as the replay unfolds. Number 1, our initial starting position should be 5 to 7 feet behind the fielder, but not to impede the fielder's lateral movement. Unfortunately, U3's positioning did not achieve this starting point. Second, we must adjust with the fielder. As the fielder steps into fair territory and moves slightly to his left to receive the throw, U3's movement should do the same. This is a critical step in avoiding a straight line look. Thirdly, we should have quiet steps to keep our head and eyes between the fielder and the runner to see the tag attempt. Again, this is vital to avoid being straight lined on the play. The last example is very similar in its development. As this errant throw goes to the outfield, notice the reaction of U3. He does a fantastic job of establishing a great initial starting position 5 to 7 feet behind the fielder. Moreover, as the fielder receives the throw, he moves into fair territory, and U3 makes the same adjustment so that he has a great view of the tag attempt. Because the tag is slapped down in front of the base, U3's quiet steps to slide inside, predicated on his adjustment with the fielder, gives him proper positioning for this play. Note U3's proper use of eyes for fantastic timing.